You are listening to the Fit Figure Formula podcast. I help female perfectionists beat self-sabotage and lose the weight for good using the Fit Figure Formula coaching program. I'm your host, Stephanie Riles, registered dietitian, personal trainer, and mindset transformation coach. If you've been struggling with all or nothing thinking, negative self-talk, or self-sabotage, this is the podcast for you. Learn how to get consistent and become the best version of yourself from the inside out. So let's get started. Hello, it's Coach Steph here for another episode. I am so excited to bring you this episode. I'm going to be talking about building healthy eating habits without all or nothing thinking. I want to invite you to the Fit Figure Formula. It's the beginning of the year. I want to help you make 2025 like no other year. Okay. As I have coached more and more ladies, as I have refined the Fit Figure Formula process, I know that the Fit Figure Formula works and that I can help you. And I'm so excited to bring you the best iteration of the formula so far. So if you have been struggling with all or nothing thinking, first of all, you're going to have a lot to think about in this podcast, but also if you've been struggling, it's time to get some help. So I'm a registered dietitian, personal trainer, mindset transformation coach, and my goal is to help my clients create a lifestyle that they don't need a break from, understand their macros so that they don't need a meal plan, so that they have more freedom with their food instead of being restrictive and taking food out of their diet, and so that you can actually check off weight loss from your goals. You can check off lowering your A1C. You can check off decreasing or eliminating your medication. You can be mobile and have energy and feel better without it having to feel like you're dieting all the time. It is possible. I had someone recently ask me, like, do I coach ladies who are in menopause? And I'm like, yes, 95% of my clients are 40 plus, either perimenopause or postmenopausal. And so if that is you, you may be a good fit for the Fit Figure Formula. I want to invite you to book a call with me. Like I said, if you're dealing with all or nothing thinking, if you have been beating yourself up, if you've been struggling with this and you want some help daily inside of the formula. So you could get a dietitian, and normally they will talk to you once a week, maybe, or sometimes once every other week, once every month. I'm in your back pocket every single day. This is the most supportive nutrition group coaching program on Beyonce's internet, and I'm really happy to support my clients. So if you're worried about not showing up for yourself, the thing that you have to first worry about is just getting started. I have a really good podcast episode coming up about motivation, because y'all know I think that motivation is just the energy required to overcome the resistance of getting started. And I have a podcast episode coming up about motivation that's really, really good. I was typing up the outline for it today. Me and Chad, aka ChatGPT, were talking about it. And I feel like I taught him something. I really do, because at first he was trying to tell me that discipline is better than motivation. And I'm like, you know what? Here's my perspective, Chad. And I told him what I thought about it. And then he changed his mind and he started agreeing with me. So that'll be pretty interesting to teach you guys my perspective. I learned some things too about motivation and what that means and how to get yourself to take action. All you got to do is focus on getting started. Stop trying to focus on consistency or being disciplined. Being disciplined is overwhelming. If I just say, hey, go be disciplined, that's a lot. It's I don't even know what that means, right? But I can just get started on this one task. And if I continue to build that skill of just getting started on this task, over time, that's going to build your discipline. So I can't wait to bring you guys that episode. And if you want this kind of help, if you need a step-by-step process that's going to literally hold your hand every single day, for the next 16 weeks or more. And with a registered dietitian and mindset coach, you want some mindset tools to make this stick and make it last and make it feel like it's your lifestyle. It's just a habit and it's not as hard. Then you should apply to the Fit Figure Formula. You can go to the show notes, click on the link to apply, and I would love to help you. So let me get started, you guys. Like I said, I'm going to be talking about building healthy eating habits without all or nothing thinking. The fact of the matter is, the reason why you don't have your goal is not because you don't know what to eat, because I guarantee you that you know how to find out what to eat, right? Chad, aka ChatGPT, will literally make you a meal plan. Will literally tell you what to eat, grocery shop, how many calories you need. You can tell ChatGPT, hey, ask me everything you need to know in order to tell me how many calories I need. Okay. You can literally do that. And then comes the hard part, right? Because you have to actually implement. So information is not transformation. Implementation is transformation. You actually have to implement this. And not only do you have to implement it one time, 2 times, this has to be something that's ongoing week to week. If you want to lose fat, you got to be in a calorie deficit. And the part is where the magic is. So I want you guys to know that the information is out there, like the strategy of like how to lose weight. And there's lots of different ways that you can do that, right? There's no one best way, whether it's intermittent fasting or taking out carbs or keto or the carnivore diet or whatever. Like there's more than just one way. I want you to think about, how do I want to live my life? I was talking to a lady who was doing the carnivore diet, and I was just like, so how does that work? You're just eating meat. So when you go to a birthday party, if you go through a drive-through even, like you're just only eating meat. Like I personally can't do it. I don't want to have to restrict myself. And the thing is, you don't have to. I was talking to a client that I was coaching today, and she has just been pleasantly surprised. She's just like, you know what? I'm not cutting out anything. I'm not restricting. I'm not binging. I'm just kind of like having this balance. And she's learning to listen to her body. She's learning different habits. When she goes out to eat, she cut her food in half immediately, and she practiced getting her to-go plate immediately. And she was like, normally I would eat the entire plate, but weirdly, I was totally satisfied just eating half of everything. And I'm like, yeah, it works, y'all. So the implementation, you actually practicing building those habits, that starts with the way you think. If you are not trying to master your mindset, you're not just going to be disciplined. You are going to have to practice, right? And that takes some intention and attention on building those habits. Okay. So one way that I see this all or nothing thinking is thinking like, I ate one bad meal, so my day is ruined. My whole day is ruined. My calorie deficit is ruined. My progress is ruined because I had a donut for breakfast and I already messed up. I messed up for the day. So I might as well just eat whatever I want and start over tomorrow. The fact of the matter is, there is no starting over. And when you hear yourself say these things, when you hear yourself say or think, well, I ate bad, understand that that is an indication of how your relationship with food is. So your relationship with food is how you define food. Is it good? Is it bad? Your relationship with food is, if you get on the scale and see that you have gained a pound, are you now severely restricting your food? Are you over exercising? If we don't want to have all or nothing thinking, then we have to have balance. And what is balance? Balance is a little bit of both. But because we kind of think that consistency is perfection, but we're also trying to live balance at the same time, and both of those don't work at the same time. Okay. So one meal is not going to ruin your progress, just like one healthy meal doesn't make you instantly fit, right? You have to just get back on with the next meal. Like, hey, I overdid it. Matter of fact, y'all, I made some cookies earlier, and legitimately I had like 7 cookies. And I knew I was sitting there with a plate of cookies, and I was just like, you know what? I already know when you eat carbohydrates, you just want more carbs. Like, who can sit down and just eat one cookie when there's more cookies right there? You don't get really satisfied. I get sick instead. If I'm eating like sugary things, I don't get satisfied. I get sick. I just don't feel, I feel like maybe it's like when your blood sugar starts to get elevated. I don't know. I don't feel the greatest. But when I did that, I was just like, well, I saw that coming. But here's the thing. What I'm not going to do is beat myself up or tell myself I'm not consistent or be like, dang, I worked out this week and now it just washed away everything that I did in the past week. No, it's just like, dang, shouldn't have did that. Moving right along, right? I don't make it a big deal. I don't make it mean anything about me. Okay. So same thing, if I can't work out for an hour, it's not worth it and I'm just not going to do anything. You planned a 60-minute workout, but you only have time for 20 minutes. Get that 20 minutes in. It's signaling to your brain that you are going to stick with the schedule that you picked, but you're going to change the scope. You might have to shrink how much time that you're actually giving to that, but if you have 20 minutes, 20 minutes is 20 minutes. You can get a lot done if you're really focused and not on your phone texting during your workout in 20 minutes. Okay, so even a short workout is better than nothing. Consistency beats perfection every time. And this also goes for thinking that we have to like work out every single day and not have a rest day. And if we don't work out every single day or even every single week, y'all, there's weeks where I don't work out. But at the end of the day, if I am sick, if things are happening, I want you to give yourself some grace and give yourself, in 52 weeks out of the year, how many weeks will you give yourself to be off track? Because every single week is not going to be a good week. And just because you have an off week doesn't mean you're not consistent. And it doesn't mean that you are failing or that you should give up. It just means that you had an off week and you should expect off weeks. If you expect off weeks, they don't become a big deal, right? They don't knock you into all or nothing, because that's the balance. Balance means sometimes you're on and sometimes you're off. And so that off part, already include that in your thought process and in your expectation. You're going to be off some weeks and some days. It's to be expected, right? So don't think that one meal is going to make or break your weight loss journey. Don't think one workout is going to make or break your weight loss journey. If you are thinking about taking out carbs or taking out a meal time, right? I can't have any carbs. I can't have any sugar. I can't have any bread, no pasta, nothing white. And I hate it when doctors tell clients this. Ooh, it just irritates me. Like, nothing white. Don't eat anything white. It's kind of a lazy way of trying to elicit behavior change, because it's like you aren't really educating the client about like what are their options. So whenever I talk about carbohydrates with my clients, we focus on three things: fruits, veggies, and whole grains that have 3 grams of fiber or more per serving. So your bread, your rice, your quinoa, your oatmeal, your waffles, you want to look on the back of the container and see if it has 3 grams of fiber or more. Now, what I like to do, I like to add fiber, and that will likely reduce your added sugar intake. But if you are focused on completely taking out bread or sugar or pasta, that is the restrict cycle. It's kind of like a slingshot where you're pulling back. This is the restrict. And the longer you restrict, the harder you pull back and you let go, the farther that binge, the longer that binge is going to be. So if you want to stop binging on carbs, then you got to stop restricting on carbs. And not to say that it will never happen, but it usually starts with trying to restrict. So cutting out entire food groups is unnecessary, and it's typically very unsustainable. Balanced eating includes all foods in moderation, so it doesn't feel like you're restricting yourself or like I can't have something. So when I do have the opportunity to have it, I eat it all because I'm not going to be able to have this again. I'm going to go back into this restriction cycle again, right? Do you see how this is all or nothing? Either I'm having all the sugar or I'm having no sugar at all, but it starts with the restriction. Okay, your all or nothing starts with the nothing. It doesn't start with you overdoing it. It starts with you pulling back. Okay. Another example, the scale went up. The scale went up, so my plan is not working. I weigh myself after a weekend out and the scale is up. So I assume that I gained fat, so I give up. The scale is going to go up and down. But when it does, you kind of freak out. And that's also all or nothing, because now it's like I'm using this as evidence to say that I should stop. And that's actually not true. And it's keeping you stuck. It's keeping you fluctuating around the same weight, because you're micro quitting when the scale goes up. Okay. So just because the scale goes up does not necessarily mean that your plan is not working. I always need at least 3 weights to see a trend. 180, 181, 182. If I see that, I'm like, okay, we're trending up here. But if I see a 180, a 181, and then a 179, you're about the same. You're the same weight. Okay. So your weight is going to go up and down. Do not think that because you gained 2 pounds, that you gained 2 pounds of fat. It doesn't necessarily mean that. A lot of times you guys will eat poorly and then get on the scale immediately after to see what damage you did. And it doesn't work like that. It doesn't weigh what you think it's weighing. Okay, so that's why you have to be consistent with weighing yourself at least weekly. Daily is really helpful to see different trends and averages, but at least weekly to know what you're trending. Okay, so this is another all or nothing example. I need to see fast weight loss or else it's not working. And you're like eating healthy for a week and you're going and you're like, hey, day 1, day 2, day 3, and you're taking the selfies and you don't see any weight loss that week. And you're like, what in the world? And you're assuming that my efforts are pointless. And then you end up stopping. So just like when you work out hard and you think you're eating really good, the scale sometimes doesn't go down. Sometimes when you think that you're ruining your progress by eating too much, the scale isn't necessarily going to go up either. Like, I think that we have such a direct correlation to like, oh, I ate a salad, so it owes me a pound less. And that is not true. Okay. So a lot of times we think we need to see fast weight loss instead of create balance because we don't really trust ourselves to continue this. We need to hurry up and get there because we don't trust ourselves to make this a lifestyle, which is a problem because even if you get there fast, you're going to have to still do those same things to maintain it. There's no finish line. Okay. So when we want to see fast weight loss, or even if you are fasting, you're fasting to see weight loss. And that's literally all or nothing. You're literally eating nothing on purpose so that you can see the scale go down. But if that's not how you want to live your life forever, then that is a problem, right? It's also a problem because you actually still have to understand, what am I eating during my window? Do you actually understand your food if you're intermittent fasting? You still have to understand how many calories am I eating? How many grams of protein do I need? Am I hitting my fiber goal? Like all of those other things are still important, right? So fasting is really not necessary for weight loss. We just have to be in a calorie deficit, and I'd rather eat. But that's just me, right? That's just me. But even if you are intermittent fasting, you still need to understand your nutrition when you are eating, okay? And let go of this instant gratification of needing to see fast results or feeling like it's not working. That is just self-trust. It's self-sabotage, and it's all or nothing thinking. Okay. Inside the formula, we use MyFitnessPal first as a learning tool. We get curious with our food, and I teach my clients how to pre-plan. Tracking, I find people don't keep up with tracking. But when you learn how to pre-plan, you hit your numbers, you can track a lot better and actually hit your numbers. And then you can eat intuitively a lot better when you understand how to pre-plan it and make it like actually hit your numbers. And I was teaching a client today and how to hit her numbers in minutes. Like if you follow the formula process, literally I can teach you how to pre-plan your food in a few minutes, and you don't have to touch MyFitnessPal the rest of the week if you don't want to. You can just eat, which is really helpful. So I'll start over on Monday mindset. So this is a very common one. I'll start over on Monday. When you overeat on Friday and you overthink it and you're less like, okay, I'll just restart my diet on Monday. Why do we do that? Y'all know this is a trap. Y'all know that's a trap. Stop. You continue overeating all weekend because you ate too much on a Friday night. You do not have to be perfect to continue. You don't have to have a perfect moment to start. And I know it feels like a fresh start when we wait till Monday. I know it feels like a fresh start when we either have to wait till the beginning of the week, or if we mess up, we want to start fresh. And there's no such thing. It's just a thinking error, honestly. So starting over on Monday, self-sabotage. You don't need a perfect time to start. You just need to get back on track the very next meal instead of waiting on Monday. Okay. And then the last one I'm going to give you is I have to go all in or it's not worth it. So you overhaul your lifestyle. You are overhauling your entire diet, your workout regimen, day one, week one. You're cutting out all the sugar. You're doing all daily workouts. you're tracking every single meal, and then you burn out and you quit. You cannot approach a lifestyle change like a challenge. If you do, you're gonna burn out, because what happens when life starts lifing? What happens when you're sick, your children are sick, you have a family emergency? I want you to think about your best days and like an actual challenge where you're doing everything. Then I want you to think about your worst times when you're doing nothing at all. And I want you to set your expectations somewhere in the middle. And that's how I want you to start. I don't want you aiming for 10,000 steps every day if you've only been getting 3,000 steps every day. You're going to burn yourself out. You need to incorporate small changes. The small, consistent changes lead to more lasting results. And here you are trying to create a shortcut when the long way ends up being the shortcut. The slow way ends up being the shortcut after all. Okay. So you don't need to do everything at once to make progress inside of the formula. I literally take it so slow in the beginning. We are practicing, we are learning, we are using curiosity, and it's very, very simple. A lot of my clients are like, wow, I was expecting you to change more. And I'm like, nope. Some of my clients are like, hey, I want to get my numbers. I'm like, nope, not yet. We're not doing this the traditional way. So if you want to try something different, if you need to understand your food, you want a simple process, you want to actually reach your goals and be able to keep it. That's the goal. Doesn't matter how much weight you can lose if you cannot keep it off. And we want to stop this yo-yo. We want to think differently. I'm going to give you tools to use in order to continue to take action, in order to understand what to do after you fall off, because you will fall off and that's okay. Understanding how to get yourself back on track, understanding what to do for holidays and vacations. And when you feel negatively about yourself, or if you are a person who beats themselves up mentally, you need to know what to do mentally, and having that strategy. And the Fit Figure formula is the perfect match for somebody who has a lot of mind drama, but still wants to reach their goals and understand their macros. So if that is you, head to the link in the show notes and apply to work with me inside of the formula. I'm so excited to help you. The Fit Figure formula is my 16-week macros and mindset program where I'm going to help you master your mindset, master your macros. Of course, I'm going to give you your calories and all of that, but the calories, y'all, ChatGPT, I call him Chad. Chad can give you that, right? It's about implementation. The formula is working on your mindset. The formula is understanding how to implement and not continue to diet, working on your stress, your sleep, your food, your walks and workouts, and making sure that you know how to put all those pieces together and implement. Y'all let me know if y'all have any questions. If you want to talk more about joining, you can use your HSA, FSA, and I have buy now, pay later options. A few other announcements I'll say. The Fit Figure Formula merch store is up, y'all. The stuff is cute. Go to the link in my bio and you can check out the merch store. I have duffel bags, hats, tank tops, t-shirts, fanny packs. The bags are really, really cute. So definitely check that out. I have some magnets for the refrigerator. Like, it's really cute stuff. I'm going to make a whole new wardrobe for myself. Okay. I'm like, yeah, everybody's getting Fit Figure Formula stuff for Christmas. So that has been really fun. So check out that link in my bio. The podcast is back. So if you haven't been going to the Fit Figure Formula podcast, you should definitely check that out on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, go and rate the show, write a review, and I'll be picking 2 people to do a free nutrition call. So I know I have had a couple people already do it, and I haven't been saying it that much. I need to remind y'all more often. If you're on Apple Podcasts, look for the Fit Figure Formula podcast, rate the show, write a review, make sure you put your name so that I can announce the winners. But I am going to be picking 2 people to do a free 30-minute nutrition eval audit. We can talk about whatever you want, macros, mindset. I will help you. But make sure you rate the show, and I'll announce the winners here soon. All right. Hopefully this was helpful. See you soon. Thanks for listening to the Fit Figure Formula podcast. If you're new here and you're struggling with your fitness journey, I invite you to take a super simple next step. Click the link in the show notes for a free training. If listening to this podcast has been helpful, imagine being inside the Formula Coaching Program. You can apply for coaching with the link in the show notes. I hope to see you inside.